So yesterday, I decided to just take a day to not do anything. Although I am home on medical leave, I still have stuff that I need to do to get my son to school, make sure my wife gets to work because there's only one car right now. But I decided that I didn't have the energy to do so. So my brother stayed with my mom. Not my brother. Oh my God. My son stayed with my mom and my brother took him to school. That's why I say my brother. My son stayed with my mom. My brother took him to school and my wife just had to drive herself to work and I stayed home. The first thing I struggled with was just laying my ass down. Like once I got up to make sure my wife's lunch was prepared, make her coffee, go start the car, I laid back down and I was just like, okay, like lay ass down. But I was like struggling with that. Then I went back to sleep for like 3 hours and then I called my mom to make sure that my son got up. And of course, doing the absolute most because when he goes to grandma's house, everybody know grandma just let the grandkids do whatever the hell they want. And so he stayed up past his bedtime. Mind you, he the day that day we got up like around 1 and he didn't go back to bed after that. And so he was up that entire time. Then he had wrestling practice. And after wrestling, he they ate and he just like went to bed. And then he said he woke up again and he stayed up and then he went back to sleep. And my mom's older, so my mom was asleep. That boy was raising himself, and he's been raising himself since he was little. Cause I go to bed, like I would go to bed, and my baby would raise himself. So he raised himself, and he went to bed later than usual. And so my mom was trying to get him up, and she had me on Facetime, and he just like laid out on the floor, like oh my legs are so tired. And I'm just like, it is only but so much I could do because I'm not there. So I'm on FaceTime, like, get your ass up, get your ass up. And then my nephew's there because my mom watched my nephew for my brother. My nephew 3 years old. He like, come on, Carvey, get up, Carvey. And Carvey telling him, shut up, stop talking to me. And I'm just trying to get my child up. I'm like, boy, please get up. Like, please. So eventually we were able to get him up and my brother comes in there. My brother is a change of life baby. My mom had my brother when I was 19. So my brother is 20 years old. So he comes in the bathroom. He like, bruh, get off the floor. Like your mother already gave you an extra day yesterday. You ain't have to go to school. You got to hang out. Get off the floor. Like y'all know they're a matter of fact. Like this is it. They don't care about your emotions. My brother like he don't curse, but he like, boy, get your ass off that floor. So my son gets up and they able to get him together and he heads off to school. Boom, that's out the way. Now that he's situated, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have a spa shower. All the spa shower is for me is if I don't put down like some like eucalyptus, some salt down in the tub to like kind of rest my feet in because I like stand in the salt sometimes. I'll hot box the bathroom and I'll just like open it up and like open up my my sinuses and I'll just let like the hot water. I take like a hot ass shower and I don't have no like straight ball like tearing the top of my head up, but I have to I just do that so I can relax myself. So I took a steaming hot shower. Then I said, you know what? I'm going to do naked yoga. So I did naked yoga. It was very relaxing. Even before I did naked yoga, I stood at my altar and like I just cried. Like I knew I needed to release. And that is something that I've been doing for like I would say since I had my son. My son was born in 2018. So since 2018, I've just been like allowing myself to like cry. And even more so now since like the last few years, I've been leaning more into spirituality. So I just was like at my altar and I was just allowing myself to like just cry. And it was like an ugly cry. And it felt weird because I'm always trying to be in control of my emotions. So it was like as I was like crying, like I was trying to kind of like disassociate from the crying, if that makes sense. So it's like I'm crying and I'm trying to like listen to how my voice sounds crying instead of just like fully just allow myself to just be in a moment and like really just cry and like surrender to the feeling. But for so long I didn't feel safe, just allow like crying because that just wasn't allowed how I grew up. I had to like suck it up, buttercup, and just But I allowed myself to cry on my altar. I lit some incense, some myrrh. A good girlfriend of mine, spiritual cuz, told me to burn myrrh, and it cleanses, it breaks up the energy. So I lit an incense. I spoke intentions over it. I put an incense in my son's room. I had two going in the living room because my living room is like it's open, so it's kind of long. Because like kitchen, living room, I had it going on in my bedroom. I had it going on when I was taking a shower, and then I decided to do naked yoga. And that was like really fun and therapeutic because I've always struggled with like my body. I'm top heavy. I have really long muscular arms, really long muscular legs, and I don't have no booty. And so for a long time, I struggled with that because on top of being told that I spoke like a white girl, I was also told that I was shaped like a white girl. So, I've just been learning how to like accept my body as it is. And I've been always active with like working out. I've been like consistently since I was like 21, just trying to, find my rhythm with, does that go together consistently? And find, yeah. Like since I was 21, I've been trying to, get it together. But, it was really therapeutic. After I was done with my workout, I was like, all right, put some clothes on. No, that's not true. I still was naked, but I put on my favorite little robe, and I watered my plants. And I was like debating like should I post about doing the naked yoga? And I was just like, you know what, have that to yourself, because I was like, I wanted to get some shots of me doing that. And I was like, you know what, not right now. Like, just enjoy it for yourself. Like, that's something I'm learning how to do. Just like enjoy things and have it for myself first, and then decide if it's something that I would like to share with anybody else. So after that, I laid down, and I'm like really obsessed with like TV shows that have to do with like witches and supernatural, and so I decided to go back and rewatch Dead Boy Detectives. The Dead Boy Detectives is on Netflix. And so as I'm watching it, I was like getting emails. Normally I don't have notifications for social media, for emails, anything like that. Like I learned a long time ago not to do that because I'll just keep checking my phone, and I'm just trying to find boundaries for myself and allow myself to like just, I can deal with that when I get to it. So I guess when I updated my phone, now I get the notification. So I get a notification in Gmail to check my email, and I see that my loans went into default. I immediately, like my energy, I was so good. I'm telling y'all, I cried at my altar. I did naked yoga, got my son together, had to cuss him out, but I got him together. And it was like all of that just kind of just, once I got that notification about my loans, like I immediately started to panic. I was like, oh my God, they're going to garnish my wages. They're going to take my fucking taxes, and I cannot afford that. Like I need all my coin. But the thing about the student loans is that if I am like being completely honest, I have made one payment, and I graduated in 2009, and when I first graduated, my loans were like maybe $44,000. It is not that amount. Since I graduated, I paid off like two loans, and then I still got this big ass loan that has since doubled. And I'm just, honestly, I didn't care. Like, and that's probably like a fucked up, irresponsible thing to say, but like, I didn't care. Like, I kept allowing it to go into deferment because it just like if I'm being completely honest, I think it's because although I was accepted into the only college that I applied to, which is Montclair State University, MSU, all of it felt like it was like forced. Like I just picked a major, and I was like, okay, I got to do something. Like I remember my psychology teacher helping me do my like my letter and stuff, but I just remember like everybody starting to look into colleges, and that just like that really wasn't a priority for me. And mind you, like I love education, I love everything about learning, but just how I grew up, I just always had to be responsible for other things. Like I had to take care of my brother at the time, and just so much shit that was going on in my house that I really didn't never have time to like just focus on myself. And all my friends around me, they were like looking into like what are they like grants and stuff like that. Like that wasn't a priority. Like I had two jobs, but it was just like school was like just in the back of my mind. Like I knew I wanted to go to school, and I always aspired to be a teacher, and then I wanted to be a gynecologist. And my mom made a comment like, is that something you really want to do, like look at vaginas? And I was like, yeah. And so it just like, because I pretty much just, I was like living for everybody else, I kind of just like rushed into it. And I remember taking the SATs and I did horribly. But mind you, once I started to focus in school by my sophomore year, my grades started to go up. So out of 1,000 students, I graduated number 175. And I always I take pride in that, because when I first started, I struggled in school. I struggled in school from the second grade up until the 10th grade, just because of having to, what is it called, parentification. Like I had to be a parent with my mom, so school really wasn't a priority for me. Like doing my homework wasn't a priority for me, because I had to help my mom out at home. She was a single mom, and it was just me, her, and my brother. And it just wasn't a priority. Like I didn't take school serious. I was acting out. I was disruptive, and I was doing these things because I wasn't being paid attention to at home, because my mom just did not have the mental capacity to worry about me at home. Like she was always in survival mode. And, I understand that now, but, I didn't really I guess I'm just processing it all now. And, so by the time I got to 10th, 11th grade, I started to find my rhythm, and I started to get A's and B's, and it was yeah, it took me a minute to get there. So then, I was like, okay, everybody's going to college, I got to do something. And I panicked, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to apply to Montclair State University. Took the SATs. I didn't do well on the SATs, but I had really good grades. And so my teacher, she helped me, and I got in. Through the EOF program, which stands for Educational Opportunity Fund. And it was based off my grades and my mom's income. And I'm pretty sure, because I'm Black, and a woman, I'm pretty, I got in. And I was so proud of that. That was the only school I applied to, and I got in. And then that was a whole different experience. That was a whole nother experience, because in high school, the high school I went to, they did not prepare you for college. The guidance counselor, she was there with us, but it was it's different once you get to college. And so I got there, and my mom ain't know, I was the first one. Now, since then, my cousin went off to get her master's. Her sister went off she's studying for her master's now. My cousin's a child psychologist. She's my son's godmother. But I was the first one out of my family to go. So I didn't fucking know, y'all. I didn't know. I just knew I wanted to be a teacher. And so when I got there, and I had to figure okay, now how do I exist? I can say that my mom, she made sure that I had everything I needed, as far as toiletries and all that stuff. She tried to be on top of me about paperwork and financial aid, but we just really didn't know. And so my mom was consenting to these loans, and I was consenting to these loans, and we just didn't know. We didn't know. And I'm getting these refund checks, and I'm just blowing through the shit, because I just didn't know any better. And so now I'm a sophomore, and my mom gets pregnant with my brother, the Change Your Life baby. And my grades are not doing well, because it's time to student teach, but it's it just felt like how I was when I was in high school. I just never knew what was going on, in class. I just could not focus, because I was also worried about what was going on back home. So now my mom has my brother, and now I'm trying to help my mom with my younger brother. And so I wasn't focused. My grades were reflecting that. And I just didn't feel present. I feel like if I was able to focus, I would have been able to lock in on the material, but I wasn't ready for that. You got 6, 7 classes, and you gotta read all these chapters for these classes. I did not fucking know what was going on. I was partying and stuff, and I would see people partying with me, but they would get up and they would take their ass to class. All of this was a shock to me, and I really couldn't talk to anybody about it back at home, because I was the first one that fucking went. So eventually I'm okay, I don't want to fail out of college. So I went and I talked to a academic advisor, and he said to me, he was you don't have to be a teacher to teach. And I was all right. So I just ended up, deciding to go into social work. And so that was much better, much better. So, I started to find my rhythm with that. And my grades started to pick up. And what the hell? Why does it keep falling? Like, Spirit, you don't want me to talk or something? Why does it keep falling? But yeah, my grades started to pick up and it started to get better. But still, I still was blowing through them student loans. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know anything about the student loans. And I didn't want to give back that money. I was taking that money and I was blowing through. I remember I brought my boyfriend at the time a whole fucking what was out then? Whatever PS2, I think that was the one that was out at the time. But yeah, like I just didn't know any better. So I graduate and I was proud of that accomplishment. My family showed up, my grandmother was there, and then it came time to pay those loans and I just was like, I avoided it. And then when I tried to get, when I was like, okay, let's get serious about it. I did like the income driven thing, and that still I couldn't afford that because it's like you go to school and you get your degree, but you come out and you're not making a lot of money. Back then I was making money, but I didn't care about it. So then as I got older, and now I actually have bills to pay. Like now I'm paying like rent and I'm paying my fucking, electric and all of this stuff. Like now I have actual bills to pay. I'm like, it's no way I'm going to be able to afford to pay these loans. And then I have a child. I'm like, I cannot afford to pay this. And so now here we are. And like, cause I just avoided it. And cause I didn't want to deal with it. I guess it just reminds me of like, just not knowing and being okay. And at some point you just gotta deal with shit, and so now I'm dealing with it. Like now I have to figure out how to deal with it. And so this is where I'm at, trying to figure out how to freaking pay my loans. But I always, like with my cousins, I always tell them like, yo, try to get grants. And even if my son wants to go to college, like my brother, my Change Your Life baby, grants, he had the opportunity to be able to focus in class. So he got academic scholarships. That just wasn't an option for me because I couldn't focus because I was just trying to help out at home so much. And, so I just tell anybody, like, just be on top of your shit. So, you're not here, about to be 40 years old and like fucking like triple in debt because you just didn't know any better. So now I am taking those steps and trying to figure it out, trying to do something. I was talking to one of my frat brothers and he was like, man, I ain't never paying that shit back. And, I'm like, I feel you. He got his own house. He's a real estate agent. Like, but like, I know that I need to figure out something. Like, because I swear to y'all, like, I did such a good job at self-caring myself yesterday. And when I got that notification, I instantly went in panic mode. Like, oh my God, they're going to fucking garnish my wages. They're going to take my taxes. Because it happened to people that I know. It happened to my mom. It happened to my cousin. It happened to my friend. I remember they took my mom's taxes and my aunt had to help her. So I got fucking scared. I'm like, I cannot afford that to happen. And when I called in today and spoke to somebody on the phone, they were saying right now they're not doing that, but I still just want to get on top of it. Like I just still want to get the ball rolling and try to just figure something out. But yeah, man, I'm just sharing this because a lot of times we don't know any better. And and a lot of times we come from families that they don't know, and you're the first person that's doing it. And I'm just figuring it out. Now I'm in this space of figuring it out, and it is frustrating. And like I was doing yoga earlier and I struggled through my yoga practice because I was like damn near in tears, like because I come from like I'm like one of the first generations to try to know better, to end these patterns. And it's frustrating when you don't really have people to like help you. But it's not to say that I can't reach out to somebody, because I do have friends that they're going through, getting their shit paid off. So I know that I could ask them, but I was embarrassed because I'm like, I should know this shit. And I'm just learning that sometimes you don't know, and you're not gonna know everything, and it's okay to ask. Like, honestly, I'm looking at my options. I got someone on the phone, and we went through my options, and I'm gonna ask my brother to change your life, baby, because he's really good with finances. Like, yo, can you help me? Like, what do you think would be my best option? Like, that's what I'm gonna do. But I just wanted to share this because, a lot of us are like first generations of trying to figure shit out. And I'm a first generation of trying to figure shit out so that, I can, share experiences with people that say, hey, I want to go to college. Hey, man, look into this. Even to my son, if that's what he wants to do, look into this, just don't wait, because I want to get myself out of debt. I really do. I didn't know any better. So I just was like, fuck it, like, and doing shit. And now I'm trying to figure it out. So yeah, man, that's my story about college. And what happens when you don't pay your student loans. So I'm going to get on that. I'm going to figure that out. But